Don't forget, you can now support the channel by grabbing yourself some Lynn's official merch. If you want to become a real one and get yourself looking as fresh as possible, and the link is in the top of the description, enjoy the video. What is up guys, welcome back to another video. Hope you're all doing well today. Today I am playing a just released track. It is called JanesNJones SX Practice. Appropriately named because it's made by Janes46 and Jones797. The very brief description of this track is just to practice for the upcoming Aerial Supercross Championship. I'm not sure exactly when it kicks off. I feel like we've got maybe a month or so, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. But I'm definitely going to be starting playing Supercross more and more in the coming weeks or so, just to get myself ready for it. You might notice the camera looks a little bit different in this video to my normal first person. You see it's moving about a lot more. If you haven't, or if you have watched yesterday's video, thank you very, very much for the support as always. If you haven't watched it, just to get you up to date, I'm essentially having like a bit of a midlife crisis as far as MX bikes goes at the moment. I've not been riding how I want to ride in races, and essentially what I'm going to be doing over the next couple of weeks before the new Supercross Championship starts is basically relearning the game. Some of you may know I never use my lean left or right. I use forwards and back. Let me stop and I'll show you an example. So on my right stick does all my leaning. Before I used to have it so only forwards and back would affect my rider. Leaning left and right would do nothing. The rider would still stay central. And some situation that works well for me, some it didn't. Obviously it eliminated more variables, so it helped me be what I thought was a bit more consistent. But I think overall it's really limiting my speed in the game. So I'm going to be trying, emphasis on trying there, to essentially relearn the game with it, learn the game how I should have learned it in the first place with the rider lean on. The thing that's turned me off from it for this long is how much the front end moves in this camera. Now I could run the chest cam rather than the helmet cam where it barely moves at all, but there's just something about it that I'm not 100% on. You very well may find that opinion will change in the coming days and weeks. You might find that I post videos with various camera angles in them, just while I'm experimenting really, or searching for what I want and what feels the best for me. I feel like I've only been doing this for a day now at this point, where I've been using the rider lean and using this camera angle, and there's definitely progress in there. It is very slow progress, but it is progress nonetheless. It's just going to take some time. I mean, it's essentially undoing the 1,000 hours that I have at this point. There's obviously some muscle memory in there, but the way I hit corners is going to be different. Obviously using the rider lean to weight the outside peg and things now. The biggest issue I have is when I lean back on my controller. You can see I'm doing it on the controller overlay right now. I always have a tendency of never going right back. I'm always like slightly diagonal like that, so I'm leaning off the side of the bike. Hopefully that will correct itself in time. But yeah, we will see how that goes. It might get to a point where I feel like it's just hopeless and I go back to not using it and just going back to riding normally, so we'll see how it goes. And if in a couple of weeks time I am enjoying it and I find myself getting better, then I'll probably upload another setup video, just to kind of update things. A few of you in the comments on recent videos have been asking for an update, and until yesterday there's literally been no changes at all. If I'm ever riding a bike that I'm not sure on how to set it up, I'll just run stock suspension. And yeah, I'm definitely not a guru when it comes to suspension. There's definitely good suspension guides out there, but I will 100% give you my setup in a couple of weeks or so if I feel like this is working well for me. So going on to the track, nighttime track, which I always love. I just like the is the atmosphere the right word to use? I don't think it is. I like the environment when it's dark, let's put it that way. I think it looks really nice. I like the track decals. Some of you know I'm not a fan of the super dark track decals. They, I don't know, I just think they don't look too nice to be riding on. These look really, really good. And Janes and Jones both said this is their first Supercross track, so first impressions wise, I think it's really, really good actually. And there's nothing that's too difficult. This whoop section right here has been giving me grief. It's the hardest whoop section. Well, it's the hardest part of the track, so to speak. There are definitely harder whoop sections out there. Yamaha Test Track, for example, is one of the ones I'm thinking. I think it's the fact that whoop section there is so long that it kind of robs you of all your speed by the time you get to the end of it. So 450 might be absolutely fine. 250, I'm struggling a little bit, especially when you want to then try and get the drive to hit the triple into that corner straight afterwards. The rest of the track seems good. I like there are definitely multiple line choices. You can step over a bunch of these on-offs, or you can get onto them, step off again. Really depends what sort of bike you're using, what kind of corner speed you're carrying. Oh, please survive. Please, 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 please. Thank you. Let's go. I'm going to have to double this and then try tripling out. Send it. Oh, I was nowhere near. I was nowhere near. Oh god. And I have little bits like that. You see, I was drifting off to the right hand side of the track there. I felt like I was going straight, but where my head wasn't completely straight in line with the bike, I was actually going slightly to the right, which is again something that I need to adjust. And I 100% will learn over time. It's all a time thing. I see people in the MX Bikes Discord saying, "I've got 10 hours on the game. It's so hard. I'm going to quit." And it's like, you need to put a lot more time in than 10 hours. It will come to you. Just be patient. But then again, I think it's a different mentality when you come from the more arcadey games like the MXGPs and the supercrosses and things like that. Get over it! Get over it! Oh yes. You know what? I've done like 3 or 4 laps before I start recording this, and that is the cleanest I've got over it. So progress. Even small victories. It's all progress. Just should be happy with the small victories and things like that. Right, step over this. Can I then quad? I can quad and then triple. Nice. Okay, getting a little bit of a flow. One thing that will help me when it comes to learning these new settings is when it comes to riding supercross, it's not going to be as difficult to try and start using this this leaning. It's really nationals I think it'll come into play and be a bit more difficult. So I'm glad that I've got the Supercross Championship and the time to be able to do it. I'm not sure what days each class is going to be on. I would really like to ride 250s because every time I've attempted a 450 championship to date, I've just not performed how I wanted to perform. I definitely need to spend a lot more time on them to really get used to them. I'm so much more comfortable on 250s. Issue being is if the 250 championship ends up being on a Friday, like it did for the motocross championship, I won't be able to do every round. So even if I do well in the races that I can do, I definitely won't be in a championship contention because I'll be missing. I think it's like 1 in every 4 races. Obviously, I go away for a long weekend once a month to visit my girlfriend. As a lot of you know, I feel like a broken record. I say it. Obviously, I say it every month. But yeah, that I will miss like 1 Friday every month. So it is a shame, but you know, life exists outside of these games. So whilst it would be nice to try and compete for a championship, there's only so much you can do against the people that are able to show up week in and week out. And right now, there are a hell of a lot of people quicker than me. So I really need to be putting in the work. I noticed my speed overall has dropped off since I've started doing the whole YouTube thing, but I'm enjoying playing the game more than I am racing the game. The competitive side of this game for me right now is just not that fun, and obviously that is down to me wanting to do better than I am. I'm a very competitive person, I hate losing, and when I'm kind of getting like 10ths and such, well, some people would be really happy with that, getting 10th in a pro race. To me, it's not what I want. I'm not happy with those results, and especially when I'm staying up to like 2 AM to race and I start doing bad, I get so frustrated, and I've rage quit the last 2 rounds in a row, which does actually mean that I'm banned for the next 2 weeks. So can't do much about that, but it's a perfect time for me to start practicing more, to start doing some supercross. And unlike last year where I think it was like 5 rounds on a 450 and then switched over to the 250, I'm going to do 250 from the very beginning. If I miss rounds, I miss rounds. It's just for me to really see what I can do. And I feel like everyone should do a 250 season before doing a 451, and I've never done a full season. I'm always missing rounds and or changing classes halfway through because I'm not happy with the results I'm getting. So I'm just going to try and do the 250, commit to the 250, do whatever rounds I can, and just see how it goes. Please survive this. Triple into the corner. I'm dead. Oh god. Oh god. This is. Oh, it's painful right now, but I'm praying that it will come good by the time the actual races start. And again, it's one of the things where I'm so competitive. I don't want to go backwards in speed, but it's almost like it's a necessity before you can get good. I'm hoping in the long run it will make me faster and hopefully more consistent and things like that as well. Because a lot of my crashes that I've been having that are really frustrating, because I don't feel like I'm like pushing too hard when they happen, is losing the back end or tucking the front end. And I think that is purely from not being able to weight the outside peg in the corners, so all of the weight's kind of going through the front and back wheel, rather than, I don't know the scientific terms behind it, but you know what I mean. I've noticed such a huge difference in how tight I'm able to take corners now compared to what I used to be able to before the bike slides out from under you, and it's positive changes, hopefully. That's all I can say. Oh, make it, no. I wanted to quickly say a couple things about the track before I love you and leave you. I think this is a really well-rounded track. There's only that one loop section that I consider actually difficult, I feel like the rest of my crashes is because I've been trying to go too fast. Like I'm trying to quad over this and then triple into the corner, where, as you can see, if you check up and you do take your time, or you could even double your way around the track if you wanted to, it's more than manageable. And I think this is one of them tracks that will lend itself really well to all skill levels. I 100% guarantee that in the next few days you're going to see either JanesNJones or Aiden posting a world record video on this track, because they do for all the supercross tracks that come out. I really enjoy watching those actually. Them two are insane when it comes to supercross. I could never carry that much speed, especially on a 450. I feel like I can't get the damn things turn around corners. But yeah, fair play to those. And then likewise, if you are new to the game and you kind of want to give supercross a go, but the aerial supercross tracks are a bit too hard for you, then I feel like this is definitely a little bit easier than those. Not by lots, by any means, but on this track I feel like there's more options for you. So if you want to double your way around the track, you can do. And it's just this one bloody whoop section that gives me grief. 100% you should go around the outside in the corner before it so you get a drive. What is this here? Is this just 2 whoop sections back to back? Yeah, it is. What? How do I know which way around these go? I think this is going to be the wrong way. Looking at the ending of this one. Oh, 100% this is the wrong way. I need to spin her around. So take off that one, like. Oh no, actually, that could be. Oh, I feel like if I jump into these whoops this way, this is going to be the wrong way. We'll see. Boing. Yep, this is the wrong way. Call me Marvin, just jumping through the whoops. That's a nice little feature there. Try and practice your whoops a little bit. That'll do it from me, I suppose. Not a whole lot more to say about the track. Obviously, it's just a good track. It's well rounded. For their first supercross track, I think it's really impressive. By the looks of it, I think there was quite a lot of testing that went into it, which is always good and appreciated. I could probably see. Obviously, I haven't been looking at the timing gates too much whilst I've been playing. Might get a race or two going on this track at some point. It's wide enough. It's not like you're going to be banging bars with everyone everywhere. There's multiple line choices. Obviously not in the corners. It's supercross. There's a berm and that's it. But 100% in the rhythms, there's always passing opportunities there if you get things clean, or if you clip your back end, you're going to be forced to check up. So it's definitely not the easiest track. However, it's definitely not the hardest as well. So I think overall, slap bang in the middle of the road. Good for pros. Good for newbies. And that'll do it for me. Thank you to both Janes and Jones for making this. Hopefully you bring a few more for us in the future, because it's nice seeing these. I don't think this track's based off anything. I think it's purely custom. It's nice seeing these custom supercross tracks as opposed to the replicas all the time. So yeah, hopefully you bring us some more. I really enjoyed this. Thank you very much. And that'll do it for me. Please do drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you're new. And have a nice day, whatever it is that you're up to. So catch you guys in the next video. Peace.
Got bad shit all up in my mind right now. Fuck it, give me a minute and I'ma let it all out. I don't give a shit about an opinion, be another dimension when I wake up. Bitch, it's time to fill the cup. Got no fucking love, I feel so stuck on my luck. Get